Welcome everyone to the maiden edition of this bi monthly webinar session organized by immigrationquestion.com. I am Maliha Fatima and I will be your host for this session. Today, we have an important and trending subject to address that will benefit every immigrant or anyone pursuing the American dream. While our able guest speaker will be delving deeply to the easy ways to get a green card topic with concentration on the new parole in place program, we will also be taking your questions towards the end of the show. Before we delve in, I wanted to take a quick moment to introduce immigrationquestion.com. The platform is designed to provide fast response to your immigration questions. And also, we empower busy immigration attorneys by providing instant access to free clients leads to grow their practice. Without further ado, I'm thrilled to be joined today by the attorney Mr. Naresh Kehi, a renowned immigration attorney in New York and the principal attorney of Kehi and Associates, a US-based law firm with over 3 offices in New York and beyond. Mr. Kehi brings over 15 years of experience to the table, having successfully handled a wide range of complex immigration cases. He's a two-time recognized super lawyer awarded by Thomson Reuters. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Kehi.
Hello, it's wonderful being on the show. And firstly, the views that I expressed in the program are my personal views, and this is separate from immigration question. And I'm just acting as someone who has been invited by immigrationquestion.com. Firstly, thank you for having me on your portal, and I'll be talking about the new changes in immigration law first. And a lot of people are interested in knowing about the parole and place program, which is going to be coming very soon from the Biden administration. Now, the easiest way, Maliha, for people to understand what is parole in place is that this applies to people who have crossed the border and come into the country or have entered without inspection, which means it applies to people who cross the border by coming into America, can be by land, can be by air, or can be by road. So these are the three common ways of crossing the border. And the person should have been physically present in the United States before June 17th, 2024. So anyone who entered the US before June 17, 2024 will be eligible to apply for this program. The next requirement of this program is that the person should have been married to a US citizen for more than 10 years. So if you're married to an American citizen for more than 10 years, and if you entered the country without a visa, good luck, you're going to be eligible for the parole in place program. The other, if you do not meet that requirement, if you have a stepchild requirement or a child requirement, then you may also qualify. Let's see how the law comes into effect. So, take an example that you have a spousal relationship, excellent. You don't have that, you have a stepchild relationship with someone for more than 10 years, excellent, you still qualify. So, that's good. So, you married a lady, and the thing is that you didn't even marry us, you have a stepchild. Stepchild can be in any way. You're married. A stepchild is someone that you're married to someone, and that child was under the age of 18 when you married the lady. So sometimes that lady gets out of your life, or she might have, expired. She died, but the child is still in your custody. You're taking care of that child. That child still continues as a stepchild. So that stepchild can also apply for you under the parole in place program. And the next requirement is that the person should not have a criminal record, which means the way I look at it, that's my personal opinion, is that particular person should not have a serious criminal record. Let's see how the law takes, into effect in that regard. Now, what does parole and place gives you is initially it considers you to be a parolee, means they are giving you a chance to just basically hold your ground in America. That's the best way to call it. Means they're giving you some footing over here. After that footing, they're telling you we're going to give the work permit over here. Then the program is for 3 years. During those 3 years, you'll also be able to apply for the green card. I think that is fantastic about the parole and base program. Now, once if that is done, the great news is you're good to go, and slowly you're heading towards a green card. Now, what should people do? The first thing is that Malia people ask me that what happens if I have a deportation order? You may be eligible. So it's time for people to just start meeting with lawyers and just get an opinion about your case at the stage and get an opinion whether you're eligible for parole in place. Is the law already implemented? The answer is no. Is it going to be implemented? Very soon. Now, if that happens, you're in great shape. And the good thing is, you should be happy that there will be light at the end of the tunnel, especially for people who are married to American citizens, have been living here for more than 10 years, or if they have a stepchild relationship, in this country. And this is excellent about the parole in place program. Malia, the ball is in your court now.
Thank you so much for the valuable insights, Mr. Gehi. So, what do you think are the common mistakes or the pitfalls applicants make that can actually delay the processing?
So the first thing is that exactly if you're going to procrastinate yourself, if you're going to take it easy, not do anything about it, that's a big mistake. Secondly, the other thing is that there are some people who entered without a visa into this country. They have the 601A pending, but they crossed the border and they came here. They should consider the parole in place program because it's much better to get it done here rather than going back to the foreign country for a stamping. That's a common mistake that people are going to do. If they get the eligibility to do it here, and if they're scared, is the exact word. If they are scared of going back, then they need to make sure that they need to look into this under microscope. And the third thing that they need to do is start meeting up with lawyers. And even if you had a case, but if you're married for a long time, if you're ordered deported in the past, if you're in immigration court right now, start meeting up with lawyers and get to know whether you can actually apply for the parole in place. And this is a fantastic program. It's an exceptional program. It's beautiful for people who are married, who've been waiting for light at the end of the tunnel. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. This is like what you've been waiting for years to kind of make sure that you qualify for a green card. Remember the basics. You should have been here for 10 years, married to a U.S. citizen, have a stepchild. You should not have a serious criminal record. And fifthly, if you enter, you should have entered without inspection, which means you crossed the border and you came into America. Simple as that, Malia.
Absolutely, Mr. Gehi, absolutely. So, you did mention that once the parole in place is done, a certain immigrant can have their green card as well. So,
Yeah.
who is eligible for this?
So spouses are eligible, as far as you can demonstrate that, or a stepchild can apply for you if you're a parent of a stepchild, and of course, children of US citizens. So the most important word is US citizens. So if you're a green card holder, you're not looking at anything. But if you're looking at a citizen, the answer is yes for sure. So those are the people who are really, really going to benefit a lot. So this is great, I believe.
Absolutely, that's very insightful of you, Mr. Kehi. So, how long do you think that these kind of application might take?
So that's a very good question, actually. First you should start meeting with a lawyer, then apply for the parole in place. Once if the PIP is approved, then after that, during that period, after you apply, give or take in 1.5 to 2 years, people should be seeing some results coming from immigration. So I think the earlier they get it done, the better it is. And I think this may not happen for everyone. And also, we have something else planned, for your next session. We're going to talk about DACA. And once of DACA, DACA people, also let's talk about it briefly here. DACA recipients can also see light at the end of the tunnel here, but it's something they're getting. It's not everything. So the thing is that once, if exactly you have someone over here who's a DACA recipient, he can now move towards the H-1B. So that is going to waive the unlawful presence requirement under 212A9C of the INA. And once if there's no unlawful presence, then they can discuss with the employer and they can proceed towards a green card. Uh,
We have a
we have a
question.
question here from Tosin Subair. So, what are the benefits of being granted parole in place, and are there any limitations or restrictions? Initially, there are some restrictions because you're first being paroled in the country, but after you get your green card, then you have no restrictions for travel and working in America like any other American, except for the fact that you're not a US citizen. That's a good question from Tosin Subair, and we look forward to you to getting a lot more questions. So this is so important for everyone, so that we can start kind of telling people that what things are about. So what documents and evidence are required to apply for parole in place? So one of the documents that people will be needing over here is to make sure that they show their physical presence in the past 10 years. They have to show that they have not traveled outside the United States. Thirdly, they have to show that they don't have a serious criminal record. And fourthly, if they have a removal order, they'll have to work with a lawyer. Or they're in immigration court, they'll have to work with an immigration lawyer.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for answering the questions, Mr. Kehi. And thank you so much, Mr. Toin and Thosin, for participating. The next question is, if at all, if there are advantages, there must be something that is also going to impact in a negative way. So do you think this parole in place would impact?
Uh, the I wish they would have added everyone in this program rather than people
Mhm.
who cross the border. So let's see how they're going to react with people who came into the country on someone else's passport. So whether that is going to be considered to an entry or not considered to be an entry, that is an extremely critical question. So that's the negative side of it. Let's see of how the government is going to interpret the law on that point.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Kehi. So the parole in place program, is this the first time such initiative is gaining momentum? And
No,
who's the
it actually, that's such a fantastic question. This program has been used for the US military, and it applies to people who are family members of people who are actively serving in the military who have retired recently. And there are some things that are very good in that. So that's the beauty of the parole in place program. Yes, it has been in place as a tested program, and now they're trying to kind of make sure that they introduce the same program over here, over here. So that's good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the insight again, Mr. Kehi.
So yeah,
I think,
I think Brahimi has a question. So can you invite us for this live? Okay, so can you invite him live if he has a question, please?
sure, I'll let the backend know about that so that they can invite him.
But Anil, for the timing, you can also ask us your question, and we'll be happy to have you live. But feel free to kind of type your question in the meanwhile. And thank you, folks, as you all are saying that the questions are coming in. So we're expecting everyone to participate and ask us questions, and we'll take it further. And I'm appearing on the portal of immigrationquestion.com, and I'm attorney Gehi, and my firm is different, and it's two different things. And we are from Gehi and Associates, attorneys at law, and we are located in New York. And if you want to reach us, our number is 718-263-5999, and the firm offers a free initial personal consultation.
Thank you so much again for the valuable insight, Mr. Kehi. I think we have someone. Hi, Mr. Pablo. You can go ahead with your question if you have one.
Yeah, Pablo, you can ask your questions, and also we can invite them live if they want to. It's fantastic if they want to ask us live questions. Yes, Pablo, please let us your question. And also, you can type your question. I'll be happy to answer it for the timing for you. Let's see, the race between Pablo and Amin begins first. Let's see who has a question first.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Kehi.
Yeah. So yes. So let's continue talking.
Yes.
So yes,
Right. So, Mr. Gay, like we have a lot of applications otherwise in the USCIS. There is asylum, there is DACA, like you said, there's TPS, there's SIJ. So how is this different from that?
because the thing is that these people are not eligible for a lot of reliefs, and this is like exactly a silver lining. And this is something like, I mean, they're getting something they've never got it in from the past. So that's where the issue is. So, this is something that is special. This is something that's unique. This is something that is extraordinary. This is something that has never been in place before. This is meant for people who never had other opportunities. For example, uh, there are people in the country who've never been eligible for TPS, so they have no status. So, this is meant for those people who've been suffering in this country for decades. That is the beauty of the Parole in Place program. So,
That
yeah.
that's a very beautiful answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Mr. Gay. So when
Well,
we
yeah,
are
can you
talk,
try to get them live or something, or what is the hiccup over here?
yes, they are. The backend is trying to get them live,
All right,
and
that's fine. But it's the first one for you guys. So sooner or later, of course, like they'll get used to it. But Richie can ask the question, and Amin can also ask the question here if needed, and we'll take it further from there. Yes.
right. So when we are talking about parole in place, how important it is for professional help in such
So it's going to
application.
help a lot of people. So for these people, right, they were not even having papers to work in the country. So parole in place gives an opportunity to them to get the work permits. And once they get the work permits, they can actually start working then. They can pay taxes. They can contribute to the betterment of American society. And plus, the other good thing is that they may also be able to get advance parole. They may to travel outside the country and come back and see the relative whom they haven't seen for years over here.
Absolutely, Mr. Gay. That's very right.
That's very good. And Maria, if there's a way that you can put my name up on the screen and put my phone number, if people have to reach us, that'll be very helpful.
Right, I will definitely do that. I will try to
Or you
give
can
the
also put it
contact
in the chat
details of.
room over here. That'll be helpful.
Yes,
Yes.
sure. I'll just try to drop it in the chat box.
Right.
Also, Mr. Gay, if at all somebody is looking forward to apply for this application, can they do it by their own or do they actually need an
Listen,
attorney?
you can do anything and everything in your life on your own. But ultimately, do you want to get the result? Do you want to make sure that you're good in what you're doing? Or do you want to make sure that, that basically make sure that you do the right thing and get a green card out as soon as possible? That is very important.
Right, that's absolutely right. So moving on to our next question, Mr. Kehi, when it comes to a difficult situation, say a person is in detention center or is probably
That's very
having.
good. If the person is in detention, immigration detention, and if his spouse is a green card holder, is a U.S. citizen, he may be eligible for the parole in place program. So he may be eligible, for the parole in place program, and that's critically important. That can be very helpful for sure. And depending
Right,
on the facts of the case, like if he's in detention, he's just been detained for nothing, and sometimes just because of his entry issue, no criminal record, married to a U.S. citizen for 10 years, and he may be eligible. You never know. It depends on the facts of the case.
absolutely. That's really insightful. I think we have shared the link. Mr. Amin, you can join us live through that link.
So I think let's proceed a little further. Now, there are people in the country. Also, if we could, ask the team to also display my phone number, please. It's 718-263-5999. If it's possible, they can display that on the screen. That'll be pretty helpful. Or then our website is gaylaw.com. So that's if people have to reach us, our website is gehilaw.com, and our number is 718-263-5999. As I said, I'm appearing, as a guest on the portal of Immigration Question, and I think it's a great program for attorneys also to come in and join you guys, and especially if you're from any state, it can really help them to get, you know, to explain people the law, because there are many people who are looking for that kind of information, and this can also help them to help the community, legal community, help people to answer questions and grow the practice. It's a win-win for people to come in and chat and do everything they want on the site. So that's a great program, and I think we'll continue with this for sure. And critically important is, whom does this law not benefit? Is people who entered with a visa. You don't qualify. You came in with a B1, B2. Now, there's a big why behind it. Because if you came with a B1, B2, and if your spouse is a citizen, you don't need the parole in place because you can directly adjust under Section 245A of the INA. So the good thing is that if you entered without inspection, if you have a child who's over 21 who's a US citizen, they can apply directly. If you have a spouse, you entered with a visa, nothing to worry about. But there's one category of people who are going to have a problem, Malia. And this is what the Congress misses all the time. People who entered on C1D visa, they'll have a problem. They are not eligible for parole in place. Those people will have to apply to the 601A waiver program and qualify. So there's always something that gets missed out, unfortunately. That's the problem.
Interesting. That's really interesting
Now, Zahir Walid has a question.
question.
The
Yeah.
policy mentions a 10-year residency. Does that 10-year need to be continuous residence, or are there any exceptions? Now, according to me, now this is the past, okay? They are going to clarify it. Brief and minor kind of uh, travels of the United outside the US may not be kind of detrimental to your application, but absences for more than 6 months, of course, that is going to matter. Now, let's see of how the law comes out. But now this is my understanding of the law based upon how I see it coming out. So that very good questions from Zahir so far. Good questions from people coming in, Olu from Tosin. And please ask questions. This is your time. Pablo, this is your time. To ask questions over here. So Adife has a question. Hello, Adife. Please ask us your question. We'll be happy to answer.
Definitely. If you're just joining us, this is
And this is a
immigrationquestions.com.
live session going on, so it can take advantage and ask questions over here.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have Mr. Gehi from Gehi and Associates, and this is immigrationquestions.com, a platform designed to provide fast response to your immigration questions. And we also empower busy immigration attorneys by providing instant access to free client leads to grow their practice. We have
And what is
Mr.
your website over there? So if people have to ask something, can you? It's immigrationquestion.com, correct?
Correct. That's
Singular.
immigrationquestions.com.
Question,
And
singular. Is it a?
yes,
It's a singular.
that's singular, yes.
Yeah. All right. Yes, that's immigrationquestion.com. Yeah, got it.
Yes,
Thanks.
immigrationquestion.com. And if anyone would like to reach out to Gahin Associates,
Our number is
that's
718-263-5999. The information contained in this program is general in nature and does not apply to any particular facts or circumstances, and it cannot be constituted as legal advice until and unless an attorney-client agreement is reached into between the parties. And the instant program is an attorney advertisement. And I am on a third-party portal, and neither the portal nor us take any responsibility for any information that is displayed which are general in nature. An immigration question is a third-party platform which invites lawyers and the public uh, as an interactive medium to answer immigration questions from seasoned attorneys. So, thank you so much, folks. It's a pleasure being on the show. And of course, if I'm invited, I'll be back again. And we'll make sure that we answer questions and keep people updated about what's going on with the parole in place. And it's time, and I'm so happy for a lot of our immigrants in this country who've been struggling for so many years. They've worked so hard in this country, and they are a terrific, terrific kind of resource to our nation. And I'm so happy to see that the Biden administration is giving them something. And I hope to see you all getting your green cards. traveling to your home countries, meeting your parents, your relatives that you haven't seen for so many years. I understand the pain that you're enduring for so many years, but at least, God is listening to your prayers. That if this happens, I'll be so happy to see that these people who've been struggling for 20 years, 30 years for their green cards, getting the green cards. That I cannot be more happy than seeing you with your green card. So if any immigration questions, you can reach us at 718-263-5999. This is Attorney Gehi, and the name of our firm is Gehi and Associates, and our website is gehilaw.com, GEHILAW.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ike. I would like to stop you because we have one last question from audience, and really sorry for taking your time.
You can, of course.
Thank you so much. So the last question we have is from Mr. Zahir. For the background checks required under parole in place, will past arrest with no convictions be considered?
So the question over here is that they may apply a policy which is similar to DACA. Because in Dhaka, the policy was very clear that they wanted to see that people who actually, have a minor criminal record, they were excused. But if they had major criminal records, they said they're not going to benefit. I think the same policy will be in place, in this program, and that's how I see it coming for sure.
Absolutely, Mr. Ike.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
Alia, to be inviting me on the
A,
immigration question, and it's a pleasure being on the show.
a
And with
very big thank you to you for joining us today and enlightening us, Mr.
thank
Ike.
you,
It was a very insightful session.
thank you. Have a
Thank you
great day,
so much.
and you may continue the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ike. A very big thank you once again to Mr. Gehi for joining us today. We have come to an end of this insightful session. But do not forget to explore all that immigration question has to offer. Visit our website at www.immigrationquestion.com. I repeat, that's www.immigrationquestion.com to sign up today and start getting your immigration questions answered. Are you an immigration attorney looking to grow your practice with zero cost obligation? Register now on immigrationquestion.com and have up to 10 free client leads sent your way. That's right, 10 free client leads sent your way. We hope you'll join us for our next webinar. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on all social media channels to get the latest updates and information. Thank you so much, everyone. You'll have an amazing day.